Hello. In this session, we will look at some of the features or some of the benefits that your IAM service provides. So, in the last session, we looked at your introduction to the IAM service. So, once again, IAM, it stands for Identity and Access Management. And we can make use of this service to give access to other people. We can use this to control who is authenticated and who is authorized to use your AWS resources and the services within the AWS account. And by default, right, we begin with one account, which is a user account. So at any point, if you want to share your account with other users, we can make use of this service. Now in this session, we look at some of the features we have. Once again, before we start off with this session, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. So let's get started with this. Now the first benefit we get with your IAM is your shared access to the AWS account. So at any point, if you want to share your account with other people, if you want to give access to other people, we can make use of your IAM service for that. So one of the main benefits we have is giving shared access to your AWS account. You can grant other people permissions to administer and use resources in your AWS account without having to share your password or access key. So basically, instead of sharing your own root username and password or the root access key, we can create individual users and we can grant those users permissions to access the resources within your AWS account. The next benefit we have is your granular permissions. Now with using this service, you can also give permissions to the users at a very granular level. So you can control, you can give read access, you can give write access for the specific services. And again, within the specific services, what read access you want, what write access you want, all those things can be controlled by making use of your IAM service. So you can grant different permissions to different people for different resources and different services. For example, you might allow some users complete access to the EC2 service, S3 service, DynamoDB, and other AWS services. For other users, you can allow read-only access to just some S3 buckets or permissions to administer just some EC2 instances, or to only access your billing information but nothing else. So you can control what level of permissions you want to give, what kind of permissions you want to give to your users by making use of this IAM service. The next benefit we have is you can also secure access to the applications that are running on your EC2 instances. So you can use IAM features to securely provide credentials for the applications that you're running on the EC2 instances. So let's say you have your EC2 instances which wants to store some data on one of your service, like let's say S3 bucket. We can make use of this IAM service to provide those credentials for your applications. Now these credentials provide permissions for your applications to access other AWS resources. For example, you can access your S3 buckets, you can access your DynamoDB tables from your applications that are running on your EC2 instances. The next benefit we have is your multi-factor authentication. You can also use this to enable two-step authentication, which is a very common practice at an organization level. So if you want to allow two-step authentication, or if you want to enable two-step authentication, we have MFA for that. So you can add two-factor authentication to your account and to individual users for extra security. All right, so if you want like 2 layers of security, we can enable MFA for that. So with MFA, you or your users must provide not only your password or the access key to work with your account, but also a code from a specifically configured device. The next benefit we have is our identity federation. So here we can also make use of your third-party applications to log in to your AWS account. So it's not necessary that we have to use IAM to create the users and give the access. We can also make use of your existing corporate directory, or you can make use of your existing authentication mechanism to log into the AWS accounts. So you can allow users who already have passwords stored elsewhere. Like for example, you can use your Google account, your Facebook account, or your SAML accounts to authenticate. For example, in your corporate network or with an internet identity provider to get temporary access to your AWS account and access the services in the AWS account. The last benefit we have is free to use. So your IAM service is completely free to use. You don't have to pay any money. Whether you're in the free tier or not, This is completely free to use. You don't have to pay any money for this. So this IAM service is completely free to use. So AWS IAM and AWS STS are features of your AWS account offered at no additional cost. So you don't have to pay any extra money for this. You are charged only when you access other AWS services using your IAM users or AWS STS temporary security credentials. So other than your IAM service, if you are going to access any other services like your EC2 or S3 or VPC, then you will get charged. All right. So these are some of the features that your IAM provides. And once again, this is mainly used when you want to give access to other people. All right. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Once again, before you leave, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you like the video, leave a like and please share the video.